Today, we embark on an in-depth exploration of what a real-life Godzilla might entail, emphasizing rigorous scientific analysis over mere fantasy. Our investigation targets an expert audience, delving into the technical aspects of biological scaling, physics, environmental dynamics, and material science. We begin by questioning how such a gigantic creature could physically sustain itself, given known biological constraints and geological realities. In this discussion, we focus on critical factors such as the square-cube law, which underlines the challenges faced by any organism increasing in size. We will analyze muscle strength, heat dissipation, skeletal stress, and energy consumption, comparing these aspects to those observed in large terrestrial animals and even theoretical models extrapolated from fundamental physics. Our discussion integrates complex data, experimental insights, and mathematical modeling to truly understand the feasibility of a creature as colossal as Godzilla. Additionally, we consider how modern infrastructure and ecosystems would respond to the presence of a creature of such magnitude. How would gravitational forces and biomechanical limitations integrate with environmental stress factors? Originating in 1954, Godzilla emerged from Japanese cinema as a metaphor for nuclear devastation and a reaction to the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Early films presented the creature as an unstoppable force, a biological anomaly created as an unintended byproduct of nuclear energy experiments. For scientists and scholars, Godzilla's origins mirror real-world concerns about the catastrophic potential of reactivity in nature when nuclear power is mismanaged. The evolution of Godzilla's character through decades has transformed its symbolism from mere manifestation of nuclear terror to a versatile allegory for environmental and social anxiety. Over subsequent films, Godzilla has been reimagined with increasingly detailed anatomical features. In early designs, simplistic reptilian traits gave way to more complex depictions incorporating armored scales, articulated limbs, and even aspects of amphibian physiology, which suggest adaptations that might support a massive body. Detailed analyses of Godzilla's design reveal a series of engineering and biological puzzles. Films have incorporated visual effects and narrative elements that parallel challenges encountered when scaling up biological organisms, such as limitations in circulatory systems and the biomechanics of giant reptiles. From a technical viewpoint, the realistic feasibility of such design hinges on reconciling the demands of structural rigidity with dynamic movement and environmental interactions. Moreover, revised portrayals of Godzilla integrate contemporary ecological theories, incorporating the consequences of radiation exposure and genetic mutation dynamics. Notably, modern adaptations reference scientific discoveries relevant to epigenetics and cellular repair mechanisms, inviting experts to compare Godzilla's fictional adaptations with what might be possible through advanced evolutionary processes. As Godzilla evolved in the public eye, it simultaneously influenced scientific discourse, prompting discussions in paleobiology, material science, and even civil engineering. The cultural impact of Godzilla is thus intertwined with the evolution of modern scientific paradigms, which continue to refine our understanding of life's limits and possibilities. In this section, we analyze the biological feasibility of a Godzilla-sized organism by applying principles from biomechanics and comparative physiology. First, consider the implications of the square-cube law. As organisms grow, their volume increases faster than their surface area, impacting the diffusion of heat and nutrients, as well as mechanical strength. A creature the size of Godzilla would require not only an enormous skeletal structure to support its weight, but also a radically adapted circulatory and respiratory system to supply oxygen and remove waste effectively. Current models extrapolated from large dinosaurs indicate that even the largest terrestrial animals struggle to maintain metabolic efficiency. The scaling of muscle strength does not follow a linear progression. Muscle cross-sectional area increases with the square of the size factor, while body mass increases with the cube. This discrepancy necessitates that a megafauna would have muscles and bones with far greater relative density or alternative reinforcement, possibly using structures akin to reinforced composite materials rather than protein-based tissues. Furthermore, thermoregulation poses severe challenges. With a lower surface area to volume ratio, a gigantic creature would likely face issues in dissipating excess metabolic heat. This situation might require a specialized vascular network or radically different cellular metabolism to mitigate overheating, drawing parallels with gigantothermy observed in some reptiles. Analysis of energy consumption also indicates that sustaining such a creature with conventional food sources would demand an ecosystem capable of supporting enormous caloric throughput, which in turn would affect biodiversity and ecological balance. Advanced computational simulations suggest that even minor variations in skeletal geometry and material properties could lead to catastrophic failure under the weight of a creature like Godzilla. Delving deeper, we must consider the evolutionary timescales required to naturally develop a Godzilla-like organism. Evolutionary biology posits that the accumulation of favorable mutations under natural selection demands extended periods, typically measured in millions of years, to achieve significant increases in body size. Assessing the environmental and urban impacts of a Godzilla-scale creature requires a multidisciplinary approach that spans geophysics, urban planning, and environmental science. Initially, the presence of such a creature would disrupt built environments dramatically. Structural analysis implies that shock waves generated by its locomotion could induce seismic activity, triggering ground oscillations that resemble natural earthquakes. Cities, with their dense infrastructure, would suffer from widespread damage, not only through physical destruction, but also through cascading failures in power grids and transportation networks. On a local scale, ecosystems would experience abrupt changes. The displacement of massive volumes of air and water by such a creature's body would create localized weather disturbances, potentially altering precipitation patterns and temperature gradients. Moreover, the creature's metabolic processes might emit heat and chemicals at scales comparable to geothermal vents, further affecting nearby flora and fauna. Experts in atmospheric sciences would likely note that the creature could generate microclimatic shifts, initiating feedback loops that disrupt regional weather stability. Urban centers are particularly vulnerable due to their concentration of critical infrastructure. The kinetic energy of a single displaced building may be negligible compared to the integrated impact of a creature of this magnitude. Numerical simulations indicate that the induced ground pressure and resonant frequencies could compromise the structural integrity of high-rise constructions. On a broader scale, the ecological repercussions extend to regional and even global levels. Supply chains would be disrupted, leading to economic instability, while alterations in landforms and watercourses could modify natural habitats irrevocably. Furthermore, the interplay between urban heat islands and the creature's thermogenic emissions might amplify local warming, contributing to a cascade of climatic changes. In a world governed by complex systems, modern science and technology provide critical tools to simulate and analyze extreme phenomena, such as a Godzilla-sized creature. Advanced computational modeling techniques, including finite element analysis and multi-body dynamic simulations, enable researchers to assess structural stresses, fluid dynamics, and thermodynamic flows under unprecedented conditions. Furthermore, cutting-edge sensor technologies and data analytics have revolutionized how we monitor natural disasters. Remote sensing tools, high-resolution satellite imagery, and real-time geospatial data allow engineers and scientists to map urban vulnerabilities and predict damage propagation. Looking ahead, research in robotics and artificial intelligence aims to develop automated systems for disaster mitigation and urban recovery. Drones equipped with advanced imaging sensors and AI-powered decision algorithms are being deployed to assess structural integrity after earthquakes. Examining the cultural and societal implications of a Godzilla-like creature invites a re-evaluation of our collective imagination and policy frameworks. At an expert level, discussions extend into the impacts on public policy, economic structures, and cultural narratives that shape societal responses to catastrophic threats. From a societal standpoint, the appearance of such an entity would upend established norms, forcing scientists, policymakers, and cultural institutions to collaborate in developing both emergency protocols and long-term recovery plans. The portrayal of Godzilla in various media has consistently sparked debates about technological overreach, environmental degradation, and the dangers inherent in humanity's exploitation of nature. Economically, the disruption caused by an unprecedented natural event would trigger shifts in global markets and necessitate new investment in urban infrastructure and disaster prevention measures. Cultural institutions, in turn, might harness this event as a source of artistic expression and critical commentary on contemporary challenges. In closing, the exploration of Godzilla's realism bridges deep technical analyses with enduring cultural narratives. Our investigation traversed the evolution of Godzilla as a symbol, advanced biomechanical considerations, and the profound environmental and urban impacts that a creature of such scale would unleash. We have seen that the intricate interplay of physical laws, biological constraints, and engineered design imposes fundamental limits on the possibility of truly colossal life forms. Despite imaginative leaps taken in cinema and literature, current scientific models remain skeptical of the real-world feasibility of a Godzilla-like organism. Beyond the hard science, the societal implications stimulate fresh discussions on disaster preparedness, risk assessment, and policymaking, reminding us that advanced research is vital for safeguarding our infrastructure and natural environment. This analysis underlines that while Godzilla serves as a powerful metaphor for nature's unpredictability and man's technological overreach, the convergence of biological, physical, and computational evidence suggests that such a creature is more a symbol than a scientific reality.